What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Week 8 NFL Talk with Jay and LJ from Houston, from H-Town. You see what I'm saying? What's up with you, LJ? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Yes, sir. Weekend is here, Jay. Time to get some money with this NFL. NBA is back as well. So, man, we locked and loaded, ready to go. Let's get it.
We locked and loaded. You see what I'm saying? Like Ja Morant around here, man.
You like we wish, not right now.
Nah, I'm talking about locked and loaded like Ja Morant, man. You know what I'm
Oh
saying with
yeah,
the gun situation. Nah,
yeah.
they went over LJ's head right there, man. But it's all good, man. We got a nice little show, man. Little NFL. Nobody probably gonna even be worrying about it today, man. With all the NBA going on. But let's get straight into it here, LJ. First game up. We're heading to the streets of Indianapolis here. We got the Colts getting a point at the house versus the New Orleans Saints. Saints lost 2 in a row. Colts coming off a heartbreaking loss versus the Browns. They probably should have won that game. We know that Gardner Minshew is probably going to be starting for the rest of the season here. LJ, what do you
Mhm.
think? Can Jonathan Taylor and the rest of the guys over there with the Colts, can they keep it going here, or do you think that Derek Carr can try to muster up something and try to win a game on the road for the Saints? Or they need to win in the worst way? They've lost 4 of their last 5. LJ.
Yeah, they do need a win. And it's gonna be hard for them to get it this week too. Colts play well at home, bro. And the Saints or this team do not put up any points for the most part. And
Mm-hmm.
you only can look under. Continue to beat betting Saints under. So I'm on the under 44. They've cashed, I think, 11 out of the last 12 games. They're 16-7 to the under as a dog since 2020. 9-3 to the under as a road dog. So yeah, I only can look under, Jay, under 44. I don't trust Minshew and I don't trust Derek Carr right now. So if I don't trust your quarterbacks, I don't know how the points are going to come. It may be off turnovers because the Colts have 9 turnovers in the last 4 games. The Saints have 6 turnovers in the last 4. So it's easy to be a sloppy game. Both teams giving up the ball, giving up points. So who knows how this game's go. But under 44, I believe, will cash once again with the Saints.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, it was crazy because the if the Colts did really good versus the Browns defense, but excuse me, maybe that was just a letdown spot for the Browns in that game, but
Mm-hmm.
coming off that big game versus the 49ers there. But a little bit of extra rest for the Saints. Man, I actually think they're gonna get the win in this one, man. Lost for our last 5. If you don't win this one, you got to sit there car for the rest of the season. I'm sorry, you got to go to Winston, Taysom Hill or something, man. Carr, you can't be losing 4 out of 5. Not when the Saints really had high aspirations this season, right?
Yeah,
They
for
got
real.
Kamara back. They got the Williams running back as well. Got Michael Thomas out there actually playing games. Who would have thought, man? So I think this is actually a must-win spot for the Saints. It's crazy because the shit was at +1.5, and you blink an eye, and then they went to -1. I agree with that line move here. I think the Saints get the job done here in this absolute must-win spot versus the Colts. And if it's too early to say that, but you might want to probably start tanking for a better draft pick, in my opinion, there, guys. But let's see what Minshew does if he can bring back the old Gardner Minshew, the Jacksonville Gardner Minshew. But some tells me that Saints defense gonna be all over his ass. I like the Saints -1 in that one, LJ. Let's go over to the streets of Pittsburgh here. We got the Steelers getting 2.5 at the house versus the Jaguars in this one. Jaguars coming off a game where they beat the Saints. We're supposed to be running out of gas, running on fumes. They still go out there and get the job done. Do you think this is finally the game where the Jags run out of gas, or you think that Steelers also coming off a win? They are good in this home dog role here. LJ, what do you think about this game?
I'm looking at another under in this game. The Steelers play well as a dog, 4-1 against the spread, and the Jaguars, they are great defensively. They're number 1 in takeaways at 16. So I believe both defenses are going to be impactful, giving both quarterbacks havoc. You can look at Jags first half too. They are 6-0 against the spread in the first half. So if you want to look at them more as that way, I think that'll be some good money because I think the Steelers can come back in the second half and make it a game just like they did last week versus the Rams. So they are good at finding what you do best and try to key in on that. And if they could get some turnovers with TJ Watt and them boys out there causing havoc on Trevor Lawrence, they may can be in this game. But I didn't take a side, because I just don't trust the Steelers offense. They're ranked bottom 25th in every single offensive category. So I don't see how they score points. They're going to have to get turnovers and make the Jaguars vulnerable because Trevor Lawrence has been playing well. They're 13-5 in their last 18 games. So can the Steelers dethrone that? We don't know. But I'm heavy lean towards the under 41 just because of both defenses making plays.
That's a great point. And I mean, the Steelers offense is like some defense as well, man. So it was crazy because they looked absolutely horrible versus the Rams, and then they started to get going, and
Mhm.
then when it smacked up the Rams. But I know Steelers is a home dog. I can only look their way. Jags have been playing really great, in my opinion. Still been playing a little, not that they've been playing over their head because I knew that they were going to be good, but still, some of these, I still feel like they were supposed to run out of gas versus the Saints, but they didn't. A little bit extra rest here. They've won 4 straight and covered 4 straight games as well. Let's see if they can keep that ATS streak going in this one, my guys. But really tough game for me to try to figure out in this one. Let's go over to the streets of Carolina here. LJ, we got the Panthers getting 3 at the house versus your Houston Texans laying
Mhm.
points on the road. Panthers sitting at 0-6. What do you think about this game, bro? I know the Sharps. The Sharps are all over the Panthers in this one, LJ. I know you don't like to hear that. Is this going to be an easy win for the Texans, or we'll get a little too ahead of ourselves with laying 3 points with a rookie quarterback on the road in this one? Rookie QB versus rookie QB. Do you think the
Mhm.
Panthers can finally get their first win of the season, or do your Texans pass and run all over them?
I can see Carolina staying with this margin for the most part because you just mentioned
Okay.
CJ Stroud is a rookie, you know, and even though they've been playing well, I like to take the Texans as a dog. I don't think they played
Facts.
very well as a favorite, and now they're a
Facts.
road favorite, so that adds more to the equation for me. But for the most part, they've been playing well. They're putting up 20 plus points, 5 of their last 6 games. They had 21, they averaging 21 points on the road. You know, Carolina's only given 18, so they're under 20. So that's why that number is at 3. But we all know CJ Stroud, you know, he hasn't made any mistake. I think he only has 1 interception all year. And he's number 1 in third down pass percentage, you know, with 117 passer rate. So they're good on third down. You know, he's moving the ball, keeping the offense precise. Like I said, not turning the ball over, not putting them in certain situations that they can't succeed. The defense has been playing well as well. The Texas defense, 9 takeaways, 7 takeaways in the last 4 games. So if they could get turnovers on Bryce Young, make him throw a pick, and they can get in field goal position, they could dominate this game. But I'm looking at Thielen for Carolina. You know, that is Bryce, that's his weapon right there. So
Mm-hmm.
Thielen's receptions is a good look on a prop in this game. And also Nico Collins over receiving yards because CJ Stroud trusts Nico Collins to get into that secondary and make plays as well. Now, I don't know if Tank Dell's going to come back off concussion. They need him as well because that's an extra piece for them.
Mm-hmm.
So Schultz has been playing well for us as well. That can be a good red zone target for CJ Stroud. But far as the side, I stayed off. I'm going to lean towards the under 43.5 because I believe both defenses are going to play. But Carolina can stay within that margin. And if CJ Stroud throws a turnover or fumbles late at the end of the game, Carolina can walk off with a field goal and win the game. I can see that easily happening. So
I
I'm
was
leaning
actually I was actually leaning to the over, but honestly, even more than that, I think this could be the Panthers' first win of the season here. Like you said, you
mm-hmm,
want the Texans as underdogs, not when they're coming in expected to win the game, and when both teams are coming off a bye here, but where the Texans come in going in feeling good, which obviously the Panthers go in like we need to fix a lot of things. You see what I'm saying? So this actually
mm-hmm,
could be their first win of the season, home dog at the house as well, versus rookie QB on the road in this one, man. So I actually think that Stroud might throw an interception in this game. So I'd be looking at
mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud to throw a interception for the Panthers to cover that 3, which you can get 3.5 out there. There's 3.5 at Circa. There's 3.5 at what is this? DraftKings as well. DraftKings, Heritage, and Circa all have 3.5s there. So if you do like the Texans, make sure you land that 3. If you like the Panthers, why wouldn't you get that extra hook with it? They lose by 3, you still get the wins. But some tells me that the Panthers come out here and play really hard. They might not win many games this season, but especially at the house versus the Texans, this is a winnable game for the Panthers here. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually look towards taking the Panthers. I might have to throw them in a teaser or something, tease them up to like +9, +9.5. I definitely think they can keep this within 1 score, but I do feel like they win this game outright, to be honest with you. So taking the points, taking that 3.5 with the Panthers would be, in my opinion, is the right side. Do have a slight lean to the over. I think both quarterbacks might get the slinging around, but that's a great point though, LJ, because if Texans win, that means it's probably going to go over. If the Panthers win, that means that they're going to be able to run the ball and keep Stroud off the
Mm-hmm.
field, and it'll probably go under. So that's actually a good look. And I'm leaning more towards Panthers, so I don't really care about the total. It's a great look there, LJ. Our guy Darren Turner in the chat also liking the Panthers there plus a 3.5. Let's go to the streets of Washington, D.C. here. We got the Commanders getting 7 at the house versus the Philadelphia Eagles here, LJ. Commanders already took the Eagles to overtime earlier this season.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a divisional home dog at the house with a potential look ahead spot for the Eagles as well, who I believe plays the Cowboys next week. Do you think that the Commanders can keep with and the Eagles also coming off a big win versus the Miami Dolphins Sunday night football as well? Do you think that the Commanders can keep it close within a touchdown here, LJ?
I believe they can. Just like you just mentioned the last game, they had to take overtime for them to win. So both these teams are familiar with each other. But now the bad part about it is the bad play of the quarterback for Washington. If the Eagles can get at Sam Howell, he's been sacked 4 sacks in one game, 7 straight games. So
Man,
I believe that is a bad recipe for Washington to try to protect him with the Eagles defense that you got Jalen Carter, you got Hassan Reddick, you got guys coming, on that defensive side of the ball that could make Washington's day long. And 7 interceptions in those games too, Jay. So Sam Howell, he's a turnover machine. They just lost bad versus the Giants, which they had no business losing that game. So do I expect them to stay within a touchdown against the Eagles? Probably, but I'm not going to bet it. You know what I'm saying? Because like you say, the Eagles are looking at ahead, so they could take this lightly and possibly slip up. But the numbers say they should win. They're at the top 5 in pretty much all offensive categories. Now, if you've been paying attention to Jalen Hurts, he's kind of hobbling. He has a knee brace, so I don't know how
that's a fact.
seriously that injury is. He's had 8 interceptions, 6 out of his last 7 games, so he's been turning the ball over as well. Now, his carries are interesting to me, the prop. It's at 9.5, so he has to get 10 carries. 4 out of the 7 games, he's had those 10 carries. So if they're going to continue to keep that number at that, I think that's a good look too, because the rush could be a kneel down. Anything like that is considered a carry. So he could go over that threshold for his rushing, but as far as a side, I stayed off because I do believe with you, the Eagles may be looking ahead towards the next week. With Dallas, you say they play?
Yep, they play the
Yeah.
Cowboys next week at the house there. So somewhat of like a sandwich spot as well. Big game versus the Dolphins. Then you got a big, huge divisional. This is the divisional game as well. But which one do you care about? The one versus the Cowboys or one versus the Redskins more so? And you know what, LJ, if he has a knee issue, don't you think that he might be running the ball a little bit less, want a little bit less contact?
No, because that's what he does. He tries to scramble and get out the pocket. So if they've got coverage downfield and he don't have a good look, he's going to try to run out of there, and get out of bounds, things like that. So, I believe that's why they have that number at that, because he's been hitting that 9 carries pretty much every game for the most part.
That's a fact there. That's a fact. Yeah, I lean Commanders there plus the 7. It could be another one where they could take them to the brink and mess around, lose the game by 3 or 4 points in this one, man. So maybe you might even see 7.5. But Commanders plus the 7, I fully believe is the right side at the house. They were probably looking ahead to this game from the Giants. See what I'm saying? So it could be the exact opposite. They looked ahead to this one from the Giants and lost, and then the Eagles might be looking ahead to the Cowboys and fuck around not take the Commanders lightly, which they could have won their first time around. That was in Philly as well.
Yep.
Now they're at the house in a bounce back spot where the Eagles coming off a huge win here. So Commanders plus a 7 is the only way that I could look in this one. If you tell me that Hurts isn't 100%, which he even said, he said his knee's good, but if you wearing a brace, it means you're not 100%. I think Commanders probably get the job done here, plus the 7 in this one. Let's go to Dallas here, LJ. You got the, what I'm saying? We'll go to D-Town. Cowboys laying 6 at the house versus the Rams. Total sitting at 45. I don't really have a good feel on this one, LJ. What do you think happens in this game? Do the Cowboys look ahead to the Eagles?
They may be, because I looked at the Cowboys' schedule. They've had the second easiest schedule in the league so far. 4 of their 5 opponents have a average of a minus 46 point differential. And, I don't know how they're going to be inspired at home to win by 6 over the Rams. We just mentioned the Rams coming off a tough loss versus the Steelers. So could they be wanting to come back on that, national TV and get back on Dallas to bring them, give them a defeat at home? It could be a look. And also, I'm thinking rumors are going around Dallas. It may be a trade coming soon with Derrick Henry coming to Dallas. So it's a lot of noise going on. So
that's not fair.
That
wouldn't be fair. That would not be fair.
I'm just saying, it's some distractions going on in that locker room. So could they be focused enough to hold off the Rams? They're coming off a loss. And when you take good teams off a loss, they pretty much perform. So I don't really want to take a side in this game. I'd rather just sit and watch it, because like you say, the Cowboys do have the Eagles coming up, a big divisional game. So they could take these Rams lightly. But I will lean probably towards an under 2, because the Rams are 13-0 to the under, their last 2 years on the road. So that could be a good look, but I don't want to take too many unders because, like I said, you never know how these teams are going to perform off a loss. So I just stay off the side.
That's a fact. Yeah, Cowboys coming off two road games. Three of their last four games have been on the road as well for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Now they come back to the house in this one, and they got to go to Philly in their next game as well, man. So they've been traveling all over the place. But it's a huge game next week. Maybe they should try to get it done this week because it's going to be a tough one up there in Philly in the next one. So you might want to try to get your not easy win, but you want to get this one because next week is not, you know what I'm saying, it's not like like an automatic win in this one, man. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd lean the Cowboys minus the 6 there, but I don't really have too good of a feel on it, to be perfectly honest with you here, LJ. Let's go over to the streets of Miami here, man. I know it's feeling real nice down there right about now. Way better than where it is where I'm at, man. I had the heat on last night. Dolphins laying 9 at the house versus the New England Patriots here. Patriots coming off a huge win. They took
Mm-hmm.
everybody's money versus the Bills in there with, man. Bill had Bills money on parlay. They had Bills in a teaser. Patriots won straight up, man. I was watching that game. I was like, no way they finna march down the field and win this game. And that's exactly what they did, man. Total sitting at 47, LJ. Do you think the Patriots are starting to find something here? Can they stay within the 9 here? The Dolphins are kind of banged up right now.
Yeah, I believe I'm going to take the Patriots plus the 9. I do believe they stay within this number. I think Miami still wins the game, but they're going to have to hold them off. This is a division game. And like you just mentioned, coming off a huge win versus Buffalo, another divisional game. So I think they're going to ride into this game expecting to beat them because Miami's coming off a loss. You see what I'm saying? So are they going to, take the Patriots lightly? You never know. They are at home, but I think a lot of that run game is missing. That A-chain is out because you have to depend on Mostert now. So I think it makes them vulnerable to where they have to pass. And if it's a defense good enough to key in on those receivers and make Tua, do something different, get him out of his comfort zone, get him out of that pocket because he likes to throw the ball fast, get out and throw the ball. So if you can make him think in that pocket, you probably can make him make a mistake. He's had 3+ sacks in the 2 losses. So when he gets sacked, they lose. When they protect him, they win. Can the Patriots get at Tua, put him on the ground, make him uncomfortable? I believe they can, and I believe the Patriots will cover this 9.
Okay, and they no, they didn't cover the first. The Dolphins have covered 6-0. They're 6-0 against the spread last 6 versus the Patriots. They've won 5 out of those last 6 as well. They beat them earlier this year by a score of 24-17 in that one, man.
Mm-hmm.
So and I mean, but the Patriots were in that game for a while. You see what I'm saying? In that first round, that was at the house. Now they go down to Miami. We see that Tyreek Hill is possibly questioning this one, still missing A-chain as well. And they go to, I believe they're going to Europe next week as well. So I know there was a stat out there that teams aren't that good in their game before going to Europe. They faced the Kansas City Chiefs before they face the Kansas City Chiefs next week in Europe as well, man. So be interested to see if the Miami, if it's like a little bit of a look ahead spot to where they don't quite win this game by as many points as the odds makers believe. So it's really going to be a great game, in my opinion, man. So I would possibly lean towards the Pats as well in this one, but not super strong here. But I do know that stat that teams are not that good before, and like it's almost like a look ahead to going because you're almost going on vacation in the middle of the season, and it's a big game versus the Chiefs as well, man. So maybe they might have look ahead the Patriots. Maybe the Patriots are trying to find something. Maybe the Dolphins are starting to like be on a little bit of the downswing at least for right now. I know if Tyreek Hill isn't 100% because he's gonna want to face the Chiefs because that's on a let me see. I think that's a Thursday night game if I'm not mistaken, man. Let me see real quick. No, it's not that's not the Thursday night game. Now it'll be early Sunday morning though. It will be early Sunday morning. Let me just see where that game is at Dutch Bank Park. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's gonna be a big game. But yeah, I wouldn't lean Patriots, but it's not enough for me to take it in this one. Let's go over to the streets of New Jersey here. We got the Giants getting 2.5 points at the house versus the New York Jets in this one. Subway Series, the NFL. LJ, like, man, I don't care about this game, man. Total sitting at 37. LJ, what we doing here?
We're going under because the Giants are at home. That's pretty much how I bet it. I didn't look at anything else. The trend is just too much to ignore. 34-13-3 as an under as a dog since 2020. 16-3-2 to the under as a home dog at home since 2020. So I'm going with the under. I don't believe both of these quarterbacks can put up 20 points. They're allowing 20 points as well on defense. So plus they're both minus point differentials. I have no interest. They're all bottom, 25th, 30th in points, both teams. So I'm not going to trust Sam Wilson, to come into the Giants Stadium and beat them, and I'm not going to trust
Exactly.
Tyrod Taylor, and I don't know if Tyrod Taylor, they may go back to Jones, Daniel Jones. Who knows what the Giants are going to do?
They should not do that.
I know,
They
but who
should
knows
never
what they're
do
going to
that.
do? He's getting paid, so you're not going to have the money on the sideline for too long, in my opinion. But.
Man, fuck that. He getting paid, but he's not giving you a chance to win. Now, but you make a good point. That's kind of what they're doing with Ben Simmons right now. They got to have him on the floor because they're paying him so much money. But like, at some point, do you want to win? It's not the same because Simmons is going to actually help the Nets win. Daniel Jones is not a winner, bro. You can't waive him, but I mean, do you want to win? Because winning is also going to bring you in money as well, like which for your fans. So I don't know. Tyrod Taylor gives the Giants the best chance to win. I've said that 2 weeks ago, and you see what happened last week. See what I'm saying? But this game disgusts me, in my opinion. Jets much better defense. Giants probably with Tyrod Taylor have a little bit better offense, in my opinion, man. So really tough game to figure out. You can get 3 if you like the Giants. It's still some 2.5s out there, but it is mainly 3 across the board now. So it looks like money's coming in on the New York Jets in this one. They're fading the Giants here, man. So maybe if Zach Wilson can have an okay game, and if they can lean on the defense here, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. If the Giants, if Jets bring that lockdown type defense, they should get the win. But you always worry about Zach Wilson. It's not on the road because this is the same stadium. Both of these teams, you know what I'm saying? Both of these teams play in the same stadium. So it'll be the Giants logo out there. But I mean, it'll probably be like 50. It might be more Jets fans there. Maybe it might be more Jets fans, to be honest with you. So it's not really trusting Zach Wilson on the road. They're just in their away locker room. You dig what I'm saying? But I'd actually lean to the Jets in that way, man. Let's go over to the streets of Tennessee here. Nashville Titans getting 2.5 at the house versus the Atlanta Falcons here. Land 2.5 on the road. Will Levis will be making his first start, LJ. And you know what? And it's kind of crazy because the Titans might be starting to tank in this one. But because if they trade Derrick Henry, and they're talking about trading DeAndre Hopkins as well. But I still feel like if you're the Titans, all you gotta do is stop the run in this game. That's all you gotta do. But do the Titans want to win? And I feel like Levis sounds crazy. He might be a little bit of upgrade than Tannehill. I know Tannehill got the experience, but sometimes the young guy can come in there and inject energy into the. You're only 2-4. The season isn't over yet. What do you think? Do the Titans have a chance, or the Falcons finna run away with this one?
I mean, the Titans should have a chance. You just mentioned all you have to do is stop the run, and that's what they do best. That's what they do best. They only allowing 3.5 yards per carry to running backs on the season. So, but the Falcons only allowing 3.5 yards per carry to running backs as well. So this could be another under game. Both teams trying to fill each other out. Both quarterbacks are suspect, in my opinion. Both teams are minus, point differential. But I just don't like the Titans in the second half, man. They cannot score the ball, and I don't see what I'm going to get from a rookie quarterback. So why would I try to bet this knowing I don't know what's going to happen, Thanks. But like you say, he could be an upgrade, but we have to see. Desmond Ridder ain't no shabby, so who's to say he's going to go in there and cover 2.5 spread on the Titans? So I stayed off the game, but I would probably lean the under just because I don't think both quarterbacks can put up points.
Yeah, I wouldn't be laying points with Desmond Ridder on the road. That's one thing I know for sure. I know that they got the win last week. What was it versus the Bucks, right? LJ, yeah. So the Titans, the only thing I don't like is that they might start tanking, but I still feel like it's too early in the season to even begin to think about that. If you win this game, you're 3-4. What if you go on a run? I actually do think Levis might inject some energy into this team. He can actually go down the field with the ball. You know what I'm saying? A little bit better than Tannehill here, man. So he might look a little better. And they might be able to score some points in the second half here, LJ. This game starts with defense for the Titans. If they play defense and stop the run, they'll win this game. If not, they're gonna get smoked. And then trade everybody. Trade everybody. If you lose this game, trade everybody for the Titans. But this is probably their last stand to try for this season, in my opinion. I don't think you're going to see Derrick Henry get traded just yet. If they win this game, you still got a chance to compete, or at least, you know what I'm saying? The season isn't over, man, because in this particular division, I mean, shit, you might be able to go 9-8, and that could possibly get you into the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? It's still possible, man. So Levis it's not making a change because they're saying Tannehill got hurt, but I kind of think they're just making a change, though, LJ. They don't want to say it, but some tells me the Titans come out with the win in this one, man. I think it's a little bit of an over adjustment with Levis to Tannehill, and I think it should be a little bit closer to the pick 'em, and maybe Titans in a teaser is a really good look, in my opinion. Tease them up to 8.5 with something else. I think it's a really good look. Then you just need it to be a one-score game. Definitely don't trust the Falcons to blow them out in this one, man. So
No,
that's
not at
how I'm
all.
looking. I lean Titans, possibly put them in a teaser, but I even lean their way straight up and with the points as well. The Titans, you dig what I'm saying? At least Will Levis doesn't have to make his first start on the road. So it's a little bit better
Yeah,
when you're at the house. You see what I'm saying? It's a
exactly.
lot better when you're at the house. Let's go over to the streets of Green Bay here. Packers getting the trash ass Packers getting 1.5 at the house versus the Minnesota Vikings in this one. Vikings come off a big win versus the 49ers there. LJ starting to get some momentum. The Packers own them for years. Now the Vikings are the better squad. Do you think they can keep it going and get the job done over the struggling Packers this week?
I mean, I would believe they could. I think the quarterback is better. I don't trust Jordan Love. He's been making a lot of turnovers. So if the Vikings can play defense like they play versus the 49ers, they should be able to take care of business. But as I'm sizing it up, this is a divisional game, so we have to kind of throw the records out. But the interesting enough about Green Bay, Jay, is that they are horrible in the first half. They're only averaging 4 points, ranked 30th. But when it comes to the second half, they're number one, 17 points a game in the second half, 6-0 against the spread. So is it just that they're just playing from behind and they have to catch up to get into these games? Because now if the teams have a substantial lead on them, they can just play prevent defense and just hold them off. They're not trying to cover the spread. So I don't know how that is because I'm not watching Green Bay games like that. But it's just interesting that discrepancy is so much of a difference in the first half and second half. But far as me, picking a side, I stayed off, man. Like I said, Jordan Love, 7 interceptions in 4 games. You can look at his interception because I think they had 2 versus Purdy on last Monday night. So I believe that the defense is playing well on the Vikings. They may come in here, make a statement in Green Bay, but I'm not going to trust it. I don't want to bet it. So for all that reason, I just stayed off. I couldn't get a good feel.
No, that's a fact there. Yeah, maybe Vikings first half is the look after everything you just said. I mean, you hope that
Yeah.
they don't come out too happy over their 49ers win because sometimes it does happen. Teams come out a little bit too full of themselves. Where we know the Packers, they're coming off 3 straight losses and against the spread as well, man. So the way I look at it, the Vikings are finally better than the Packers after getting your ass kicked versus them so many years. You know what I'm saying? It is a divisional rival game. We know they don't have Justin Jefferson, but Addison looked really good. Jordan Addison looked really good versus the 49ers. That's a much tougher defense that you're going up against versus the Packers as well, in my opinion, man. So Vikings, I'm leaning Vikings first half and full game in this one, man. I think they should probably keep it rolling. But like I said, I mean, can Green Bay try to pull one out at the house? It's very possible. But like I said, if you feel like you've been owned by the Packers for so long and you can beat the 49ers and be good versus that defense, this is a must win versus the Packers, in my opinion, if you want to try to make the playoffs or do something this year. It's not too late to turn the season around, but you have to win this game. So maybe, like you said, that first half is the look there for the Vikings and L and LJ. Let's go over to the streets of Seattle here, man. Damn, man, I need some damn water or something. We got the Seahawks laying 3.5 at the house versus the Cleveland Browns in this one, LJ. Browns getting 3.5 on the road in this one versus Seahawks, LJ. Total sitting at 38. What you think about this one?
Man, this is an interesting game. Cleveland is excellent pass defense. If y'all don't know, y'all should pay attention to these boys on the pass defense because you can't pass on them. They're number 1 in opponents' completion percentage, number 1 in opponents' passing yards, and number 1 in opponents' yards per play. So if you can run on them, is where you can get Cleveland vulnerable because the coach showed it the last game. They used a 2-punch with Moss and Jonathan Taylor. So they were running on Cleveland. That's how they were in that game. But as far as passing is where they had trouble, as you saw. Cleveland was defending that pass. But as far as this game, can Geno Smith not make mistakes is going to be the key, the quarterback play, because Deshaun Watson is out. They don't know long when he's going to come back. So they're going to have to trust P.J. Walker to hold his offense down. And I don't know how long he's going to be able to do that, especially on the road, going all the way over to the West Coast of Seattle. Seattle, they're at home. And like I said, they can run the ball with Kenny Walker III. So I'm leaning Seattle minus the 3.5, but I can't fade the Browns defense because if Geno has to pass, they're going to be in trouble, and the Browns could come out with this win. But P.J. Walker has to be disciplined enough to not make mistakes towards the end of the game. But I don't have an official play.
And that's what I don't want, PJ Walker, because I've seen him struggle even at the house. Now you're going up there to Seattle, and it's probably going to be cold. I think Ronald didn't say it was super cold, which I mean Brown's used to that anyway. But I don't want him on the road versus a rocking crowd, the 12th man up there. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's a really tough game for me to try and figure out. We know the Browns are probably the better team here, but like you said, if Seattle gets it going in this one, it's a really tough game. They have lost their past couple games versus Seattle in this one. Let me see who they play next. Seattle has the Ravens on deck, and then the
Ooh.
Browns have the Cardinals on deck, man. So it's a
Mm.
tough one. I don't want to trust PJ. I don't want to trust PJ Walker, man. And the Cavs, the Browns have been alternating covers as well. It's been win loss over their last 10 games. They have not covered a spread back to back games, man, for whatever reason. And they almost lost to the Colts. They really deserve to lose that game there.
Yeah.
So, I personally, I don't. Their defense shouldn't be getting 3.5, but when you look at the quarterback play, PJ Walker is not. He's not the best out there. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But Watson didn't look that good either, to be honest with you, man. So let's see what happens in this one. If it was at the house, I'd definitely be. It could even be Browns -3. I'd be all over this shit. Let's go to the streets of Denver here, LJ. Got the Broncos getting 7 at the house versus the Kansas City Chiefs in this one, my brother. Be right back. Go ahead, LJ.
Yeah, man, we're gonna ride with the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, because we all know that Patrick Mahomes owns the Denver Broncos. He's never lost to them. He's 15-0 versus the division on the road. He's won 13 straight games in the division. So I don't see Denver holding Kansas City off, man. I believe the offense is clicking right now. Denver is -69 in point differential, giving up 31 points on defense. You know, they're at the bottom and passing yards allowed. So Kansas City, man, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to eat this defense up. Now, he didn't cover the spread the last game, the last Thursday night. I mean, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. But Kansas City covers spreads on the road for the most part, especially in the division. So I believe Kansas City will not have any trouble covering this spread. I'm going to take the -7 because I don't believe Denver can hold them off with the offensive potency that they have. You got Kelsey, 9+ receptions his last 3 games. So as long as Mahomes and Kelsey keep having that connection and everybody else can fit in where they need to be, Kansas City in the division on the road is always money. So I'm not going to stop doing it now. Kansas City -7 on the road.
Yeah, they've beaten them 16 straight times, man. So, I mean, they've been absolutely smacking up the Broncos. Broncos finally get them a little win and finally get them a little cover last week versus the Packers, but it wasn't easy. I mean, you struggling like that versus the Packers, man. I don't know how you're supposed to look versus
For
the Chiefs.
real.
They do have the game in Europe in their next spot, but I mean, the Chiefs, like you said, Patrick Mahomes is just too much for the defense, man. Then one of their safeties got suspended for 4 games as well.
Yeah.
The Broncos for the hits as well. So the defense just takes
Kareem
even a
Jackson.
further step back here, man. So the Chiefs are just absolutely rolling right now. I bet against them a few times this year. It didn't really work out. The Broncos still should have covered that last one, though, in my opinion. Chiefs kicked the late field goal and covered, won by 11 on a 10.5 spread, man. But the Broncos, they're not a team that I'm looking to bet, to be honest with you, and I'm not looking to fade the Chiefs there, man. So it's crazy. This line actually came down from 8 to 7. See what I'm saying? So somebody's out there betting on the Broncos, man. I wish them the best of luck. I get the situation, but I mean, the Chiefs are just far and above the better team. They have absolutely owned them. But let's see what happens if the Broncos can try to work up some magic and finally beat the Chiefs. I just don't really see it happening here. But like I say, Chiefs do have the Europe game on deck. Teams hadn't really done well in that spot when they're traveling over there, but we'll see what happens in this game. I know it's going to be cold as hell here. It's actually going to be snowing here on Sunday, so it's just a little. Just so you know what, since I'm here, LJ, I got a little inside info. It's going to be snow on the ground. It's like a 50% chance of snowing. It could be up to 6 inches of snow over the next 48 hours. So I don't know if you guys want to look at that like for props or for a total, maybe possibly look towards the under, but it's going to be cold as hell. I know for sure. And it's probably going to be snowing as well on Sunday, my guy. So it's just a little inside info for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Do with that what you will. Let's go over here to the streets of San Francisco here, LJ. The Niners, they're laying 3.5. They don't have Purdy, and they're still laying 3.5. They're saying Sam Darnold is going to start in this game, going up against the Bengals, coming off a bye week here. Joe Burrow, it's crazy because I've been riding the Bengals, and they've been cashing, LJ. My guy Chris Raybon is on him as well, plus 3.5. I'm thinking I might have to ride with them here, taking the points here with the Bengals, who are on the upswing, and the Niners. We know they have a really good defense. No Debo Samuel, no Purdy, relying on Sam Darnold here to get you the win and the cover. What do you think here? Do you think the Bengals, Joe Burrow, might be getting a little bit more healthier and could possibly win this game outright?
Yeah, I think I'm taking the Bengals plus the 3.5. Just simply because 12-0 against the spread since 2021 as a dog with 2+ points. And the 49ers missing their quarterback. They're missing one of their weapons in Debo. So you're going to have to trust McCaffrey can get all the production for you. And he's hobbling as well. So one hit could probably put him out the game. So 49ers are vulnerable right now, even though they are good as a home favorite, 14-0 against the spread when they're not coming off a bye. But I think the injuries are going to take its toll. And the Bengals are playing well now. You know, Jamar Chase and Burrow have their connection. But the fact that he's just so good against the spread as a dog, you know, I'm going to take Joe Burrow and these Bengals to go in there and cover this spread and possibly win this game outright.
Yeah, I know I ain't trusting in Sam Darnold, which, I mean, shit, he might come out there and try to ball out. The Niners are off 2 straight losses. We know they're going to come back to the house and try to right the ship, but I just don't see them getting it done by more than 3 points here, man. I might have to ride with my guy Chris Raybon, which he's one of the sharpest guys in the game. You can follow all his picks over there at Action Network, my guys. But Bengals plus 3.5 should be the right side here. Like I say, Burrow, actually his calf is going to be a lot better now. Now he's going to they're not going to be able to go up under center. They're going to be able to do some shotgun. He might be able to scramble out of the pocket and look more like Joe Burrow here. So after that horrible start to the season, now they're starting to play a lot better. Niners pretty banged up, don't have their quarterback, don't have Debo Samuel. So I'm saying still great defense, but the Bengals are on the upswing, and I don't think they should be getting 3.5 here going up against backup QB here, man. So Bengals plus 3.5 should be the right side in this game, my guys. Let's go over to the streets of Arizona here. Cardinals getting 9.5 at the house versus the Baltimore Ravens here, LJ. Total sitting at 45. Do the Ravens go in here and smack them up?
I believe they do. I've already bet it. Baltimore minus the 9.5, simply because of how Arizona sucks in the second half. Now, the first half, they could keep it close, you know, because they were averaging 14 points in the first half. Baltimore's averaging 15. So it could be a close game. But when that second half comes, Arizona's averaging 4 points in the second half, which is ranked bottom in the NFL. And they've been held under 17 points 3 out of the last 4 games. So they're not scoring points as well. So Baltimore coming off that hellacious thropping against Detroit last week. I think they're going to bring it on this road. The defense is just lights out. Number 1 in points allowed. Number 4 in quarterback hits. Number 1 in sacks. I mean, Raekwon Smith and that defense is just handling boys, you know, just knocking them out, man. And they only allowed 7 touchdowns total all year. So I don't see Arizona doing anything to hold off the Ravens, even though they are at home. I don't trust Josh Dobbs. You know, they can't pass the ball. Yards per play, 25th, and you know, averaging 5. Baltimore is too much for them, man. So I think they come in here on the road, cover the spread. Lamar Jackson, 14-1 versus the NFC in his career. And I would probably look as an under too. 13-6 to the under as a road favorite since 2020. And Baltimore has rushed for 100+ yards, 23 straight games, 25+ points 4 out of the last 5 games. So all that stuff can cash on Baltimore, but I'm just going to play the 9.5. I believe they win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Should smack them up in this one, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not looking towards the Cardinals here. The Cardinals are tanking. They're probably going to have the worst record in the league, man. The Panthers they're going to be fighting with the Panthers to see who can tank the hardest in this one. After playing well the first few games of the season, they are 0-4 against the spread their last 4 games, my guys, the Cardinals. So they're starting to weed out. Their secondary is pretty banged up as well. So this is a game where the Ravens could get up, you know what I'm saying, get up by a few touchdowns and then just kind of coast, you know what I'm saying, kick some field goals and then just kind of coast versus this Cardinals team. So, yeah, Ravens the only way that I can look in this one. Last game up, LJ, Sunday Night Football here. We're going to L.A. here. Chargers, trash-ass Chargers. Land 8.5 points at the house versus the Bears, who Badgett didn't look too bad in his game, his debut versus the Raiders over there. Now they're on the road, though, getting 8.5. Can we trust the Chargers and their head coach to be – I'll tell you this right now. LJ, if the Chargers lose this game, the coach is getting fired for sure, bro. For sure. So do you think the team I've kind of seen this happen. Do you think the team not going to lose on purpose? But if they don't want this coach here anymore, if they lose, they know he's not going to be there. But I mean, honestly, I don't see the Chargers losing, but I mean, that's a fact. If they lose, the coach, I mean, fuck, he might if they down the fourth quarter, his ass might do to him what they did to the guy in Arizona State where he was running off the what was his name? I can't think of it, man. He was the Arizona State head coach. He used to be the Colts head coach or something like that, man. A real light skinned guy. Regardless, he was running off the field, and they told him like that, like you've been relieved of your duties. Like he didn't even make it to the locker room, bro. I'm dead serious, bro. He's an older guy. He was the Arizona State head coach like a couple years ago.
Herm Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards. Yep.
Wow, I didn't
They didn't
know
even let
that.
him make it off. They didn't even let him make it off the field, bro. And the director and stuff. Two guys were standing right there before he went to the thing and basically relieved him and let him know that he was relieved of his duties, bro.
Well, if the Rams do come in here and beat the Chargers at home, bro, Staley needs to be fired. Yeah, they need to be fired, especially if it's a rookie quarterback making his first road start. Like, that would be embarrassing, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, Patrick played well last week, but he was at home. You know, he was comfortable. You see what I'm saying, amongst his fans. But now he's going to go on the road. He's going to have to play a little bit different. But the Chargers give up the most passing yards in the league. So if he can pick that secondary apart, get some DJ Moore, you know, touchdowns, you know, and sustain the offense, they probably could come here and cover the spread. Now, to win the game is kind of far-fetched to me just because of how the Bears are. But anything can happen, man. Like you say, the team may not even be motivated to keep their coach, and they may come in here and tank and lose on purpose just so they could get another coach, man. I could easily see that happening. I believe he should have already been fired. I think he's hanging on a real thin string right now.
Get him the fuck out of here, man.
He could put it over the hook.
He wasting Herbert's time, bro. He wasting really everybody on the chart. But Herbert is a legitimate like all-star QB. They're wasting his time over there, bro. That coach and they finally got an offensive coordinator and Kellen Moore. Let him take over as the head coach or something, bro. Get him the fuck out of there, bro.
So yeah, I'm rooting for the Bears to come in there and do it because I want Staley out, but I don't have a play on this game because Herbert's hurt. He's threw for an interception in his last 3 games. His fingers hurting. So I just think the Chargers are up and too much going on. And like I said, the Bears could come in here and cover the points easily. I think 8.5 is too much. I don't see the Chargers covering 9, 8, but I want them to win. So I will be rooting for the Bears this weekend, but I'm not betting.
I got you. Yeah, I'd like to throw the Chargers in a teaser, and that way, if you basically just ask them to win by 3 points, or it's either that or they're gonna lose the game. See what I'm saying? But that's it, man. LJ, let's get out of here, my brother. Let's recap the plays, my guy. What you liking tonight? Week 8. What you liking this week? Week 8 NFL picks, my brother.
Man, all these plays are official right now. I've already bet them. I got the Patriots plus 9.5 to cover against the Dolphins. I believe coming off a Buffalo win, I think they will hold off Miami. And I'm not saying they're going to win, but I just think they have to win by 10. I just think that's too much for Miami right now to cover that spread. I got the Bengals plus 4 over the 49ers. I believe Burrow's been playing well now. 49ers are too banged up. They don't even have their quarterback or one of their weapons, so McCaffrey's going to get a lot of usage. And he's been, he hasn't been good as of late. I think he's under 4.5 carries, in his last 3 games running the ball. So if he's going to be the guy trying to get out there, he could probably get hurt as well. So I just think the Chargers are vulnerable right now. 49ers are vulnerable. So I'm going to take the Bengals plus the 4. I'm going to take the Ravens minus the 9.5 on the road versus the Cardinals. Their defense is just too banged up right now, and Lamar Jackson is playing lights out. And it's a perfect game for him to keep it rolling because they're going to have to go on a road, like you just said, the next game. So I believe that they're going to take advantage of Arizona's banged up secondary and how horrible they play in the second half. And on my two unders, Jets under. With the Giants under 37, I believe is the number. I just think both quarterbacks can't put up points. And as far as my Texans and Carolina, I'm going to take the under because I believe both rookie quarterbacks are not going to be put up enough points for the points to go over. And I'm leaning Carolina plus the 3.5, but I haven't bet it. But I may get to the window on Sunday just because CJ Stroud road favorite. I have to see him performing that way before I bet it.
Hey, and if my H-Town guy says he leans the Panthers, so do I, man. I know my top 3 looks on the NFL week are the Saints, number 1, the Commanders, plus 7, number 2, and then the Panthers as well, plus the 3.5 as well. Some honorable mentions would be the Jets, the Jets, the Titans and the Vikings in the first half, and also the Bengals plus 3.5 there, my guys. But like I say, man, we're gonna wait till closer to Sunday. I usually wait till Sunday morning to place my bets. Then we know all the injuries, who's in and out. But I definitely think it's an absolute must-win spot for the Saints this week. We know the Colts got the run game, but the Saints have a good counter as well with their defensive line, defensive front as well, man. So it's all on Derek Carr there. If he can't dice up this Colts defense, then you got to get him out. You got to fire his ass as well. They paid him too much money for that, too high expectations. So one top play for me, man, be Saints -1. I think it's an absolute must-win spot there. But like I say, honorable mentions would be Panthers plus 3.5, Commanders plus 7, Jets -2.5, Titans plus 2.5, Vikings in the first half on the money line, and then Bengals plus 3.5. Man, that's the show. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. The few that did, we know that it's NBA season right now, but still got to put out some NFL shows as well, man. We'll try to do as many of these as possible over the next few, over the course of the season. And this one, man, we make sure you guys are following LJ on Twitter, man. He does a lot of great work over there on Twitter. He's on a lot of shows as well, man. At LJ Sports Media, you see what I'm saying? Go follow him right now on Twitter. That's my guy, LJ from H-Town, man. Y'all go check him out right now. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the word about the show as well. It's us against the bookies. Let's get some cash. We out, my guys. Have a great day and a great weekend. Let's go.